Has the NBA come to a new era as Trae Young, Luka Doncic, and DeAndre Ayton all three have taken massive strides here in the NBA playoffs? What's up? I'm Kendall. This is Drew over here, and we've just been very intrigued by these three young rising stars. Just watching them come up through the playoffs has been extremely intriguing, and it's been more intriguing the fact that Luka Doncic, the one that everybody thought should have been drafted number one overall, is the one who's been eliminated by players like DeAndre Ayton and Trae Young who have made it further in the playoffs. And now DeAndre Ayton's heading to his first finals. Trae Young, potentially, they're not done yet. They're down 3-2.
Yeah.
It's not over. I mean, they still could. Yeah, it's not over.
Trae could come back for Giannis.
I would try and do a Shaq Hawks impression right now, but I really don't feel like self-humiliating myself over air right now.
Yeah, Drew, gotcha.
It's been rough to watch, but Drew, kind of what have been your thoughts on these three young rising stars?
I want to expand it beyond those three rising stars because the NBA is in very good hands moving forward. I mean, I was amazed by Luka and his performance. Trae Young exceeded all my expectations. I thought the Knicks were going to beat the Hawks, and Trae just superstarred at Madison Square Garden. He blossomed. Ayton, with the help of Chris Paul, to his own admission, has become like the number one pick everyone thought he was going to be. Devin Booker is another guy that he's always been awesome. He's just been stuck on a bad team. He's gotten better and better. Now he's not at this level yet, of course, but he's getting Kobe comparisons now. Donovan Mitchell, before the injury, was just incredible for Utah in the playoffs. You could see the difference in that team when he was playing and not. Like, it was striking. Jason Tatum, 50-piece on Brooklyn in the first round. There's just so many guys. I'm sure I'm missing someone, and I'll come to in a second here, but there's so many guys that are just going to take the NBA down the road for a long, long time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that the NBA, like you said, I think it's in really good hands. I think that finally, it felt like that we were kind of stuck in neutral a little bit, where it was, well, for a little bit, I mean, for like the last decade, where it was right. LeBron, Stephen Curry, Kawhi Leonard, you had the San Antonio era in there. It's just been a bunch of old dudes lately, like just a bunch of old guys. Like, honestly, like, that's really cool and all, but we all want to see like what this new generation
see guys our age.
Yeah, see guys our age. Like, yeah. I always love feeling like terrible about myself and feel worthless, and see the guys who are like 2-3 years younger than me succeed and make millions of dollars. Yeah, but it's been fun watching like Trae Young, who's
Zion's my sister's age, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. It's fine. Right. Like, I don't care at all. Yeah, no biggie at all. But like, seeing guys like this, the way that they've stepped up, and especially seeing these young guys really take it, like notch it up a level in the playoffs, especially awesome. DeAndre Ayton and Trae Young. Can we appreciate what they've done in this playoffs? Because it is insane. Especially Trae Young, I can't remember the last time I saw a guy who that young has had the composure and leadership over his team like Trae Young has had.
It's been so cool to see. I think I actually texted you and John, our other co-host here at the Wide Ball Starters, about this. When was the last time a team improved this much over the course of one season? And I'm not talking about Phoenix, and their ascension has been just as remarkable in a different way, but they improved over the offseason, added Chris Paul and added a bunch of really good pieces, Jay Crowder. Atlanta was not good at the start of this season. They were really, really struggling, and they just get better and better and better, but still you're going into the playoffs and you're like, good chance they're a first round exit. And maybe they win one. We don't know how good the Knicks are. And Atlanta is clearly the better team. And they beat number one seed Philadelphia. And like obviously not only did they beat them, but it was like, yeah, they match up step for step with the best team in the Eastern Conference by record. And they're putting up a fight against Milwaukee. You know, we'll see what happens. My prediction as of now is probably Milwaukee finishes it off. But Atlanta did not lay down against them. They handed it to the Bucks in game 1. And in game 4, Giannis got hurt, but Atlanta was still going to win that game without Trae Young. Trae Young's leadership, to your point, has just been remarkable. And I can't remember the last time, I don't know if it's ever happened, where a little bit to your point too, this many young guys, it just felt comfortable that they were on the roll in the playoffs. It almost feels like you're not watching, it doesn't feel like the playoffs to me, because it does, in the sense that games are much more intense and competitive. You can always tell when guys care more in the playoffs than the regular season. It's two different games. But, even when we started watching basketball as kids, like in 2010, even like guys would struggle in the playoffs at this stage in their career. It was just so intense, and it would be those veterans that just stepped up and led. Not the case this year. Now, granted, there's been a lot of injuries. The Lakers were banged up, so you take LeBron out of the equation. He gets his ankle injury, claims he's never going to be the same again, and then they get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs after Anthony Davis gets hurt. That series might have gone a little differently if the Lakers were fully healthy. Yeah. I actually think what's really cool is not only is there this youth movement where ratings are really, really high after really poor ratings last year in the bubble.
Really bad ratings.
They're back up. I read they're like 20-year highs. People care about new youth movements, and that's going to only be better next year, when now we're bringing back the veterans that people have now had a year to where it's not going to feel stale anymore, that it's like, okay, we've got all these young guys, and now Steph Curry's back with Klay Thompson, and he's gunning for it. And Kevin Durant and Brooklyn and Kyrie and James Harden, if they stay healthy, can they make a run? Can they like put together a defensive team? Can LeBron find one last surge with Anthony Davis? The NBA is only going to get better and better and better, because what this year allowed, even though all the injuries suck, and it really does suck, all those injuries suck, but what it has allowed is for the youth movement to kind of rise and get to that elite level. And so now when the elite guys that were out with injury are back, it only has created this more elite status to where the playoffs next year just promise to be absurd if there's health.
Well, a thing too that's so stupid about how well they've played is that they've done this and they've missed almost half a full year because of COVID. And in a lot of cases, a full year because of COVID. And what I mean by that is they've been without fans. So you get a lot of these young guys who have only had, before COVID hit, a year or two of experience. So if we're talking about guys like the three that we've mentioned in Luka Doncic, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton, but also guys like Jason Tatum and Michael Bridges, Devin Booker, who's still young. I know he has more years of experience, but talking about all those guys who are young and are contributing and being big contributors, they've been without fans for so long. And then they come in when it's playoff time and places are just getting back to full capacity during the playoffs. And they're performing this well at this high of a level. Like, how are they mentally even able to do that? Like, I would be in there and I would wither under the first like boo that I get instantly. And you've got like
absolute
out here with his own team booing.
Yeah, I was gonna say the absolute case in point is game one of Knicks and the Hawks and Trae Young in Madison Square Garden. That crowd was unbelievable. They were incredible. Yeah, and Trae Young beat him at the buzzer. Basically, he just went out and got it done at the Mecca. Like, that is like basketball prime, is New York in the playoffs.
Yeah, it is.
Our generation doesn't know that as well because the Knicks have been terrible forever.
They're just bad.
But and let's look at some guys that haven't made the playoffs yet, but will someday soon. Zion Williamson. Imagine the hype when that guy gets in the playoffs. That's going to be insane.
It's going to be intolerable is what it is.
It's true. Just turn off ESPN when Zion makes the playoffs.
And Bleacher Report.
But
actually, that goes for LaMelo.
Yeah, I was going to say when LaMelo Ball makes the playoffs, but it's going to be so entertaining. Even the guys that are coming in this draft, like Cade Cunningham and Jalen Suggs, they're going to only up the ante. Anthony Edwards is way better than I thought, and a lot of teams thought. Denver's got a ton of really young talent. They're a little more established now, but Murray's still a young guy. And
yeah, Murray's young.
Michael Porter Jr. sure looks like he's going to be a good player. It's really exciting to see that throughout the league. And it's not a changing of the guard. It's almost a coming of the guard, because those elite guys that were out this year are going to be back. The Steph Currys and the LeBrons and the Brooklyns. It's all going to be back. It's just now there's more guys fighting for the throne. It's with championship experience, mind you.
Next year, like you said, it's going to be interesting watching these old teams like the Clippers and the Lakers battle it out against this big youth movement happening. And hopefully everybody's healthy, because it'd be super fun to watch like these old veterans who've been fighting for it for over a decade now, going against these young guys who are extremely talented. So it'll be interesting to see. I personally am really rooting for a Trae Young versus DeAndre Ayton finals, because I think it'd be
That would be hilarious.
After all the Luka Doncic talk. But
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Check out our page if you aren't familiar with us. Y Ball Starters. We are Pacific Northwest based. We do talk Blazers. We talk Pacific Northwest hoops, but we do also expand into general NBA as well. And definitely check us out. Check our Spotify, YouTube. Well, obviously you're watching this on YouTube, but Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Y Ball Starters. And we'll catch you all later.
We promise that if you listen to us, you will not feel as bad as Sacramento probably does for picking Marvin Bagley when the picks surrounding them were DeAndre Ayton, Trae Young, and Luka Doncic.
I would give
Have
that
a good one.
Yes. Yes.